And welcome to the show this week, everybody. And we're going to be talking with David Johnson about the rest of the games going on this week around Walton County. But first of all, this is the first day we've met, actually. This is Coach Ben Reeves from Walnut Grove High School. Coach, had to be a different atmosphere in practice this week after the big win last week.
Well, I tell you what, just getting a W and getting that monkey off our back was huge. But our kids, they understand the process this year, Danny, and they just understand about laying some groundwork and laying some foundation to get where we want to get. And that old saying, life by an inch, and we're just trying to take different aspects of the game and turn them into good things for us week to week. And we've had some good moments up until last week. We've had some good moments in games. Even though we've lost, we've had some real good moments. And that was our focus last week. Let's turn those moments into winning a quarter. And doggone it, when we win a quarter, let's try to win a half. And win a half, let's win a football game. And so kids just did a great job of understanding that, and coaches are preaching that all week.
Could you tell this team was getting ready to be able to win, maybe during practice or some things you saw during the previous two ball games, that they were close enough that they were about ready to break through?
Well, I tell you what, for me, life's about attitude and the way you get after things. And our kids have had a great attitude, great work habits, and and every week they come back out there and listen to coaches. We get in here and watch films and try to correct things on Sundays, and we don't see the same mistakes Sunday to Sunday. And but I tell you what, you tell the kids are paying attention, wanting to get better when they're doing those kind of things, and the effort. Everything's got to start with effort. If you don't have great effort, then you ain't got a chance to doggone win anyway. And that's one thing I can say about our kids, even though we took it on the chin early, is that our effort has been there and just that want to. And that's the fundamental starting point for everything. You got to have great effort if you want to win. And we're starting to get that.
Anybody step up for you last week in that win over Howard that maybe surprised you a little bit?
Well, I tell you what, our senior defensive end, Patrick Fulcher, had he just had a well of a game. He had about 18 tackles, a couple of quarterback hurries. Just as an individual, he really had a good game. But our whole team, just particularly defensively, our defensive staff, Coach Hancock, Reed, and Phoenix, and Jacobson, just had a great game plan. They executed it. I think the 4 big runs they had, our kids actually did what they weren't coached to do, and they had big plays. When they did what they were coached to do, we just hit them in the mouth. And offensively, we got a lot better. We were a little bit behind offensively, but I tell you what, the offensive line is starting to attack on the defensive side of the football, and it makes a difference. And but a lot of our kids had a good game. I tell you what, Patrick really set the tone early, and T.J. Little broke a 70-yard run to start the game. That's always big.
And develop momentum off that big play like that.
That's right.
First play of the ball game.
That's
right. All right, out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah.
Start the region this week against Stevens County. It's going to be a challenge.
Oh yeah, Stevens is always good. Everybody says they're down, but I don't know when you got the tradition they have and the kids they have coming through the program. I don't think they're really down. They're probably just that old term reload. And just probably got young kids, but they know how to do things. They play well. They play downhill. And it's just going to be a good challenge for us. For us, again, with our kids, we just sort of week to week, we give them a key word. And the word this week is to believe. Believe in what you're capable of doing. Believe in what we're doing around here. Believe you can win a football game. And but heck, it's a big game, big region opener for us. There's a lot of people probably not giving as much of a chance to win this one. But doggone it, going back, let's just play a quarter at a time and try to win a quarter. And then we'll try to win the half. And third quarter, maybe we can win a football game. So our kids believe we can win, and heck, I do as a coach too. I mean, doggone, I believe we can win every game, and I'm going to go in that week, approaching it that week, and try to relay that to our kids.
Speaking of believe, you've had tremendous community support. Mm-hmm. The stands have been packed about every week for you.
Yeah,
it's got to be important.
Man, I tell you what, our parents, particularly our parents and people around the program have just got on board with what we're doing. And I think that goes back to our coaches being communicators with people and our program being open. And we're trying to communicate to our kids what we're trying to accomplish here, and work habits. Doggone them, when everybody sees you working, it's easier for them to jump on board. And that's one thing I can say about our staff and anybody's involved with football. Everybody's working and just trying to make things better. And So it's just been one big family atmosphere, and that's how we want things to be around here.
All right. Ben, thanks for your time. Good luck this week, and we'll talk again later in the year.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. It's Head Coach Ben Reeves here at Walnut Grove High School. Now David Johnson's going to join us. We'll talk about the other games coming up on. All right, then, of course, Head Coach Ben Reeves from Walnut Grove High School. David Johnson here with us now. And you can tell that Reeves really excited about that win. We keep talking about maybe getting a win and some momentum at Walnut Grove, and hopefully that'll be the case.
Yeah, that was nice. Finally get that monkey off his back anyway. Getting that first win out of the way, because when winning streaks tend to build on themselves and build momentum, and so nice to get that one out of the way for them.
And something you mentioned in the newspaper this week, now they need a signature win, and a win over Stevens County would be one.
Yeah, they haven't won a whole lot in their varsity. I think it was their 5th varsity win since they started playing varsity ball, and none of those were really shocks. I mean, they were against teams that were struggling or were pretty weak. So now they've gotten a win. Now they need one that really counts or that means something, or a signature. And Coach Reeves will tell you every win for them right now is a signature win.
Yeah.
But obviously, beating a team the caliber, a program the caliber of Stevens County, that would be huge. This Stevens County team, it's down a little bit this year. They lost 30 seniors. They're kind of in a rebuilding mode. They're 2-1. They lost a tough one to their big rival last week, and so if they're vulnerable this year, and Walnut Grove has kind of got a little momentum, a little confidence going there at home. You never know. This could be a really great opportunity for them to get a really big win.
Something we talked about with Reeves too is the community support his program has enjoyed, and you would expect really the fans to be overflowing Friday night.
Yeah, they had a big crowd for the Loganville game, coming back home after a win. Yeah, I mean, I think their fans, despite their record over the past few years, the community still seems to be behind him. He seems to be a real, motivational kind of guy. So I think they'll be there. It could be could be their biggest home win in the program's history.
And speaking of motivation, what they're doing is asking football players to offer jerseys to teachers and invite them to the ball game on Friday night. So he's trying to get faculty involved, and that's smart too.
Oh yeah, that's good.
All right, so other games coming up this week. Loganville is going to be against Flowery Branch at home. Tough team to come off a loss against Florida Central too.
Yeah, it's probably the toughest 2-game stretch of their season. Flowery Branch comes in at 1-2, so you're looking at it thinking, okay, maybe they're down this year. But if you look back as far as last year, they started last year 0-2. Came in, beat Loganville, began an 8-game winning streak. They went on to win the region, won the region in the same region that the eventual state champion Gainesville was in. So a little assist from Loganville last year kind of put Flowery Branch over the top. So I wouldn't read a whole lot into Flowery Branch's 1-2 record right now. They handled Cedar Shoals pretty well last week, ran up over 500 yards of offense. This is going to be a tough one for the Red Devils.
And of course, Loganville got to turn back the turnovers or limit the turnovers, or that game could be over early.
Yeah, that's again, they're just, I don't know what it is. It just seems the past couple of years turnovers have been the killer for them. I think they had 4 last week. Played Clark tough. They were within 10 points. If you eliminate even half of those turnovers, who knows what might have happened. They've got to hang on to the ball.
All right, here's hoping the Devils can do that and pull off the upset on Friday night. Monroe heads north for their region opener against Lumpkin County. A couple of years ago, this was a really big ball game, but Lumpkin's struggling right now.
Yeah, Monroe hung 54 points on them last year. That was the first game I went last year to see Monroe play, and they just scored at will. I mean, scored on the first play of the game. They were different players. It was a real rout. Lumpkin's down this year. Monroe's probably a little better. It's going to be a name your score this week. I think this could get ugly in a hurry.
Well, when the Monroe offense takes the field, if they're on the opponent's side of the 50, you say they're in good field position. But Monroe never gets into any bad field position because they can score from anywhere.
Yeah, and they can score from anybody.
Yeah,
it's not like it's one person or even 2 people. It's 3 or 4 or 5 that they can put in there and score from just about anywhere.
All right, we got a win for Walnut Grove. Now Social Circle looking for one against Harlem on Friday night. The Redskins got to find a way to score some points. They had the week off this past week, and that could be a good thing for them.
Yeah, they needed the break after those first 2 weeks. I think they were outscored something like 88-12 or something like that, and just really got off to a horrendous start. Looking down the schedule before the season started, you kind of look down there and you looked at Harlem and thinking, okay, maybe this is where the losing streak ends. But now coming in, Harlem has seemingly turned their program around. They've won 2 games the past 12 years. Now they're coming in at 3-0. Got a couple of really strong backs. Kind of got things turned around, it looks like. So now, here you go, another tough game for the Redskins. You just hope that week off, let MJ Hester heal up a little bit. Maybe they got their quarterback situation settled. Maybe pulled some defense together out of somewhere. But like I said, look like this might be a chance to break the streak. Who knows? Right now, it's going to be another tough one.
All right, George Walton Academy is also at home in Henderson Field. They're taking on Warren County. Warren County not a powerhouse.
No, this is kind of a sad story. Warren County seemed to have things turned around, and then, of course, remember, I don't know if folks remember from a couple years ago, they had this fight after a game at Hancock Central. Their coach stepped in to try to break it up, and he ended up getting beat up pretty good and had a pretty debilitating injury. Ever since then, they've just kind of been on the downhill spiral. I think they come in with maybe an 11-12 game losing streak here. This could be a good chance for George Walton to get well, maybe get a little more balance going on their offense. They really need to find somebody besides Stanley Williams to give them some offense. They're really struggling to throw the ball. Hopefully this will give them a chance to kind of get things going and heading into region play starting next week.
All right, Loganville Christian Academy plays on Thursday night this week, and again, I forgot to look, but I think it's a 7 o'clock kickoff against Creekside Christian, and again, a Thursday night game for the undefeated Lions. So a lot of good football coming up this week. Hope you get out and support your favorite team. See you game in Walton County. David and I see you next time.